No one's asked me a question in 45 minutes.
So what do you do?
I run a cafe.
There is a theory that says that you don't exist unless someone calls and you respond. This is a line from a poem by Sam Sachs that I think poignantly describes this moment and how it encapsulates the condition of human connection. This is a feeling that is universal, prevalent throughout literature. The way her body existed only where he touched her. The rest of her was smoke. In The God of Small Things or in Ocean Vuong's Night Sky with Exit Wounds, don't we touch each other just to prove that we are still here? Or yet again, in The Bell Jar, she stared at her reflection in the glass jar window as if to make sure, moment by moment, that she continued to exist. This particular moment in Fleabag objectifies the loss of self and identity. In these 45 minutes, when she's surrounded by her family who's so engrossed in their conversation that they forget about her, Fleabag is slowly eroded of her identity. Her sense of self is chiseled away bit by bit until she's sedimentary pieces at the bottom of the ocean floor. And the more they continue to ignore her, the more she recedes away until she's not even that anymore. She is nothing. I talked about identity, but it's not even that. It's our very self or mere existence that relies on other people. In the case of Fleabag, her family, consider the human body and how it is designed. Every pore, every fiber of our being is covered with sensory cells waiting to be touched, scorched or illumined at the touch of our hand, our eyes designed to fill up with a human sight, with tears, with mirth, with a person who cares. We are so fragile that our existence to be conceived within us depends on another person. So we wonder as we sit at the dinner table of life, as we feast, do I exist? Do I exist? Do I exist? Until someone calls. Fleabag is criticized notoriously by the audiences for her actions, especially her relationship with the priest. Why is she so self-destructive? Why did she fall in love purposely with a man she could not possibly have? And why did she have to do this to the priest when she knew where his priorities lied? But honestly, I think Fleabag was the opposite of self-destructive in the case of the priest. Because throughout the 2 seasons of the show, no one sees Fleabag, as is perfectly exemplified in this dinner conversation where she's left out. Her father is under the web of the evil stepmother, and her sister is the amalgamation of everything she's not and cannot be. So no one actually sees Fleabag until this moment at the dinner where she sits wondering, do I exist? Do I exist? Do I exist? As the people talk and laugh and converse and ignore, asserting fluidly their belonging to the human race, as she's there analyzing, absorbing a satellite in the periphery of the human population until she becomes a non-entity. There is a fascinating, excruciating paradox here, because the more Fleabag is eliminated from the conversation, the further she gets from humanity and thus from her own humanity, becoming a non-person. And yet, in the same breath, the more she's eliminated from the conversation, the more sure she is of her own humanity, the more human she becomes, and less human everyone else becomes. It's Schrodinger's cat. She's there and yet she isn't there. She is and she isn't at the same time, lumped, unswallowed, unchewed in that half second when the guillotine is about to hit your neck but doesn't, when the rope is tied to your neck and your life and death at the same time. And I think this is us, everyone, me and you. We're sitting there at the dinner table of life, unsure if we even exist or not, and then sometimes, as in the case of Fleabag, a voice will penetrate through all of that and ask, so what do you do? Philosophy be damned, humanity be damned, entity or non-entity be damned, you don't care about any of it anymore. And you look at the person who cared enough to ask and simply reply,
I run a cafe.
Oh.